Hello and welcome to the first video of soil. In today's video, we are going to talk about what is soil, second, the formation, third, the importances, and fourth is how is it useful to us. Okay. Also, we are going to talk about the composition of soil. So first of all, let us understand what is soil. So if we take a cross section of the earth, if you don't know what a cross section is, basically it takes from the center of the earth to the surface of the earth. Okay. The center is the core. You people have read about this topic in the previous classes. Okay, mantle and crust. So this is the soil is the part of the crust. Okay, that is why we describe as the disintegration of the crustal rocks. What is disintegration? We'll discuss about in a few minutes. Okay, so there's a thin layer which forms the lithosphere. Okay. You have heard about this when you were studying about lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere together making up biosphere. Okay, lithosphere is the living part of the surface which is responsible for the living of animals or human beings, okay, in together. So when we talk about soil is formed on the top part of the crust. Okay, so what happens is the rock, when it disintegrates, it forms soil. What is disintegration? It basically means breaking down. So for example, if we take a chalk and we just grind it into smaller dust particles, it becomes soil. But does it exactly become soil at that moment? So when you grind or when you make something of a large size, okay, into smaller particles, yeah, the size gets reduced, but it does not exactly make it soil. That is where the composition of soil comes into play. Soil is not just about minerals, because a rock is a mineral. Okay, it's not exactly one mineral, but it is a composition of minerals. It is a compound of minerals. Okay, thus it is heterogeneous in nature. Okay, the main components of soil or basically on the surface are silicon, clay and calcium carbonate. Okay, but it's not just these things that make up the soil. So when we think about it, mineral makes up a large composition when it comes to soil. But it's important to be air present. Okay, if we take for an example this as a box of soil. Okay, this is a box of soil. Okay, this contains soil. Or soil without these rest of three components is known as dirt. So this contains dirt. Okay, because this does not have any nutrition value. Animals, plants cannot grow in here or flourish or reproduce here. Okay, so this is dust. So then you add in some water. Okay, now because of the presence of water in the dirt, okay, because of the presence of water in the dirt, this becomes a bit different. Okay, but if you just add water to the soil, you have seen that if you overwater a soil, it starts to smell, because living organisms cannot remain in a soil. And you would have also observed that when it rains, the animals or the insects which live inside the soil come out because they can't live here. So you add some air particles. Okay, you have some air holes which they need for breathing, and you also add the organic component, which is plant and organisms. Okay, together they make up soil. Now it is a soil. It's no more just dirt, but it's a soil, because soil is a living component, and just the presence and the breakdown of minerals does not make it a living component. Okay, so now we know that what is the composition, and we also know how it is formed. We also know what are the key components. Now we have to understand that how is soil important. Soil is important for various things. For example, like plants, for the growth of plants growth. Okay, plant growth. Then the next thing we have is the presence of water percolation. Okay, it also allows water to percolate through it. Okay, it's important because we have to understand that a if water does not percolate, it stays on the surface, things are not gonna keep going. It should go through a process, right? The water needs to be recharged for agricultural purposes and also for human consumption, okay? And the third and the important thing is for the living organisms, okay? Like earthworm, okay? Then we have ants. These are the creatures that always rely on the presence of the soil, okay? If they also contribute a lot into the formation of soil, so keeping that in mind, okay? So the next thing we are going to talk about is formation of soil. The formation of soil is known as pedogenesis. Okay, the formation of soil is known as pedogenesis. So what is pedogenesis? Pedo means soil and genesis means formation. How is it formed? So there are various factors or agents responsible for this, okay? The first being the soil itself, basically the parent material. Second is the climate. Third is the relief or topography. Okay. What else? Time can be a factor. And the last, presence of living organisms. These all things together somewhere play an important role in the formation of soil. Okay, let us discuss each of them individually. Parent material. How is parent material important? So due to the presence of parent material, the soil is being formed. You need something for the formation of soil. And what is that? That is the parent material. Why is climate important? The heat, the cooling, the heating. For example, when the rock expands. How is it important? Let's assume, okay, let's start with the topic. Climate. Okay, we have done through this topic, so you can just erase this portion to be easier. Okay, so for example, if we take into consideration that this is a piece of rock, okay, it contains various components, like different components, okay, let's not name them, just randomly making a few components, right? So when these components expand or contract, they don't do it at the same equal time. Some might expand more, some might expand less. The one that expands more is gonna push the rest of the materials, okay? That is gonna bring up a crack, right? And when it contracts again, it's gonna create a gap, a crack, and then a gap, okay? After that, we understand that there's the importance of relief and topography too. If this is a flat region, okay, the water is going to percolate more, okay. The more the percolation, the more we'll see that there is a effect, right? But also, if the relief is like this, it is going to cause more rainfall to affect, okay. That is going to bring a change in that. Okay, the next is time. Time is an important factor because soil takes a long period of time to form. Okay, and the last but not the least, living organisms. How is living organism important? So if this is a soil layer and the living organism lives within this, it is responsible for bringing air inside by making tunnels. Okay, and also it is important for making nutrient rich waste that they produce. When they consume something, the waste that they produce is important for the growth of plants. Okay, so these are the important components of pedogenesis, and also this is an important formation of soil. And because soil takes so much to form, it is important for the conservation of soil. This was for it for today's video. See you in the next video.